usually before you can make a couple $1,000,000 in a particular business, there's a couple things that happen before you ever get there that no gurus really will tell you about. And in very rare cases, you're normally going to find yourself breaking even, losing a little bit of money, and struggling as you get going. So what I always like to say to people is, instead of focusing directly on how much money are we making on day 1, day 30, day 60, there's like 5 things you got to put before money in a business. Number 1 is definitely who the target market is that we're going to serve. And then within that market, there's always a top 10% and 20% that are without a doubt going to be your most profitable clients, okay? And for us to, as early as possible, and I'll tell you exactly how I've done that in multiple markets, and give you real examples here in a second. As early as possible, you want to get that laid out, because that is where we're going to then pull out all of our messaging and our marketing, our copywriting. And so obviously, when we look at that market, the second part of that's the product. Because a lot of times clients will come to me and they'll say, hey, I got this, like I was talking to a client yesterday. Hey, we have the #1 referral system in dentistry. It's gonna, it gives me 1 example and 2 examples. And I was like, great. Do you have their case studies on video that we can immediately put in front of ideal clients, our top 10%, right? In order to quickly get more customers, even if we have to give it to them for free. And the answer was, well, and I also said, well, explain the product to me. And so the second phase of that is like, how do we make the product so easy to digest, implement, execute, and utilize to get results? And this is the third part. Results super, super fast, okay? So there's a couple parts there, right? So we look at the market, then we look at the product. Inside the product, there's like a sub-segment question that you gotta ask is, well, how fast am I getting the results? And the answer is, if we can get them a result within 24 hours, within 1 hour, that exponentially leaps up our ability to gain trust and overcome obstacles, right? Because we could just give it to them for free at that point, and they're gonna get results so quickly that, guess what? It does the selling itself. I'll give you 2 quick examples. So for example, I invest in land. It's one of the things I do. And the challenge with land investing is that all the gurus make it sound like you're gonna send out mail today and you're gonna have these deals by 15, 30 days from now. And when in fact, even the best guys in the market, it takes 62 to 90 days to get their first deal, to get their deals and get their throughput. That's the cash flow. That's the cash flow throughput. So that business, the drop off in that business is so high because people's success takes so long to experience, right? Now I can give you a couple of thoughts on that specific business, but I'll tell you something we did in dentistry is I immediately gave our doctors a 3-letter sequence they can send to past patients who have not been in within 6 months. And so what would happen is within 7-10 days, they're getting their first call from back then it was like, say, a 47-cent stamp. They're getting their first call and they're getting their first, their client, right? So their first patient. So they're spending a few $100, making a few $1,000, and it looks like I got to turn around here. And then all of a sudden, guess what, folks? They're like believers because they just got results. They spent $300, they got 3,000, 5,000. More patients come in. They upsell 1 or 2 of them to a $30,000 case, some dental implants, and next thing you know, I got clients that are willing to spend. Now I've just made them $100,000 conceptually. Like I can give you better examples on that. But now it's very easy for me to charge 10, 25, 30,000 because now we're going to give them the next level of treatment, right? So that's in a dental space. If I'm doing pain relief, the reason why the tingly stuff, we used to do this in the supplements, is we sell joint pain supplements. Well, joint pain supplements have a high refund rate. Why is that? Well, because the same reason you probably imagine is like high refund rates are because if people take supplements, it usually takes minimum 7 to 14, 21, 30, 45 days for that anti-inflammatory effect to kick in, right? Well, that kind of stinks. I mean, these people are in pain now. They've already dealt with so much stuff that hasn't worked before. That's a big blockage, by the way. I've tried it, never worked for me. That is an objection you got to handle in every market and anything you're doing. And so, anyhow, we give them a free bottle of topical pain cream. Why? Because when they get the joint pain supplement, as a bonus, they also get the topical pain supplement cream. And guess what? They rub it on their shoulder. Let's say that was the issue, their knee, their foot, their arthritis, whatever it might be. And guess what? They get relief right away. Now, to share one more thing, because I've sold hundreds of thousands of supplements, we always deal with the same issue on that. So, but if you think about, if you're in nutritional supplements, for example, like energy drinks, man, you know, like if the taste is good and I feel like a little bit of kick because of the caffeine, well then guess what? I'm immediately going to be like, wow, I love this stuff. This is great. Or I'm not, right? But you're going to get a buy-in. Usually when people buy in, you're really better off giving them a 15-day supply at a super reduced rate if you believe in your product, because guess what? They're going to stick with it. My buddy Chris Ashenden, who's the founder of Athletic Greens, got a great story about him, but probably another video. I mean, he's the classic example of optimizing a product, listening to the customer, optimizing the product. And but during the pandemic and shutdowns, what did they all tell us was going to be one of the best things we could do for our health to boost our immune system? Well, vitamin D. So what they did at Athletic Greens is they gave a full year supply of vitamin D. Well, so why is that so brilliant? Because they're charging $79, $69 for their Athletic Greens, and now you're paying $5. Their cost is $5 for a vitamin D. Let's do the math on that. It's going to cost them a total of $60,000 or $60. Sorry, not $60,000 per client. $60 on this client, and they are very likely to make $700 off that individual. Not only that, now that they got them as a customer, what else are they doing? They're cross-selling them. They're on the subscription, increases the value of the company. I think it's $1 billion brand now. Pretty incredible, right? So before you ever think about money, what do we talk about here? Let's just do a quick recap so we're on the same page, because I'm going to give you a little clue here that you could do today that really will allow you to get hyper-focused on where to focus inside your business for the biggest payoff and profits. And then I would love to hear your success story on it. You can comment in the comments. You can reach out to us at Ed O'Keefe Live. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do me a favor. My team told me that 92% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribers yet. And since our channel is growing very, very rapidly, I'm committing a lot of time, effort, and energy to put these types of videos out to you. Like I just stopped by my daughter's volleyball game, or where I dropped her off for volleyball, going to my kid's soccer game, and I had 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to bang out a mini podcast that we could use on our channel today. So one of the secrets that, and this is why you have to just start taking action in your business and getting customers and getting failure and getting rejected, because what happens is as you get a few customers and you're creating value, you need to stop and look at your testimonials. Because your testimonials, and by the way, you could do this on Amazon if you want to look at a client, if you want to look at a competitor of yours to get external validation if you don't have your product live, to see what their biggest compliments are and their complaints are and their objections are. But every business that, I'll give you the specific example in dentistry, is when I was helping dentists get patients, it was about 1.5 to 2 years in when I wrote an ad, one of the doctors placed it, and he spent $300, made $83,000 within 30 days. And he had over, I think, 500 leads from an ad that I wrote, and simple little ad. Well, why do I share that? Because that's a massive, massive case study. And if I have one case study like that, even half of that, all you need is one case study. It could be you to be the story. And then if you have that case study, you can now build a whole business around the one result. because it's just true, guys. Like a lot of the mistakes people make is they try to, well, I'm gonna go help people get patients, so I'm gonna get them everything. Well, no. Can you get them the best client patient outcome that person wants? If they want to get rid of knee pain and joint pain, well, what if your business was just all about pain and anti-inflammation? You can do that, right? That is your thing. And then you expand after you've tapped into your most profitable client and you figure out what else they want to buy. But we don't start expanding until we figure out who our most profitable client is. So what I found was, hey, look, dental implant doctors are who I like working with. I still, to this day, that is the type of dentist that I get the best results with our half-day consulting and our personal branding workshops and our personal branding interview method, our $1 million interview method that helps experts conversationally sell, because I know that market. So I was able to build a whole business around that, and we were well over 50% net profit in that business because I had already had one pillar of a lead system coming in. So I was able to upgrade these guys into a licensing agreement, and it was pretty incredible. We had doctors all throughout the country, and then 2008 kind of wiped that out when the market crashed. It's one of the first things that people will start getting rid of is coaching, consulting. So that's another reason why you got to have a stick-to-ness. That'll be a different video that we go at that. But look at your testimonials. So that's number I think it's number 3. Speed to result on the product is number 2B. I'm going to call that, because 2A will be the product. Number 4. Before you worry about money, you got to start looking at where your strengths are. Okay, so number 4 is I'm going to go. Once we get sales coming in, we're making a little bit of money, you immediately need to do a quadrant matrix about where your strengths are at, and really focus on where you are really, really, really good and where you are really, really bad. So for example, me, I have only a certain amount of energy to follow up with people throughout the day. So my right-hand person has to be a person that's so good at following up, sending emails, plugging in the calendar, getting the T's crossed and the I's dotted. Why? Because that person likes doing that. I can't stand doing it, which means he or she is going to do a much better job than I will. And when it comes to me speaking on camera, me running seminars, me working with clients, I gain energy from these types of things. I could probably do like 5 or 6 of these now. Why? Because I like it. I like talking to people. I love people. Like, it's just, I gain energy from people. I like being by myself as well, but predominantly I like being with people. Okay, so that's number 4. So number 5, so on this, the who you are thing, the second part of that, and I'll make that whole thing number 4, is that's when you got to start building your team and scaling and growing. And every single product, when I work with clients one-on-one, one of the things we do is we kind of go through this like sequence, right? And each one of these things may take time to go through, right? Like, so we have a list of questions when we look at a market to really ask ourselves, are we targeting the most profitable, easiest to help, most enjoyable to work with client? Like, we go through that, then we go through the profitability and the product, speed to result, those things. Now, number 5, I'm going to skip to number 5, is our money metrics. Now, this number could easily be number 2, or it could be before we even pick the market, right? But what is the math that is going to get us to where we want to go, whether we want to make 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 20 million, 30 million, 100 million? What is our math? And so let's just go over basics of math, right? What is our allowable cost per customer, and what's our average value per customer? And then where is my break-even point? There's more things we can look at, like retention rate, blah, blah, blah. But those are all micro things underneath these big chunks. Like, so if you say to me, like, Ed, we can spend, like when I was in the supplement space, we were able to spend $130 to get a customer. That's really, really high in the supplement space. Like, most guys are spending $70 to $80 per customer, if I can come in a marketplace and spend $10, $30, $40 more than everybody, well, you know what's going to happen, guys? I'm going to get all the customers, right? So whether you're in high ticket selling, whether you're in low ticket selling, it doesn't matter. Well, I'm selling an econ product or $100,000 consulting. What I found is one of the biggest misconceptions is that a guy or gal is telling me they want to charge $50,000 for consulting, yet they're afraid to run ads and spend $5,000 to get a customer. Are you with me on that? So if I spend $5,000 to get a $50,000 customer, not only am I getting a $45,000 gross margin into my business, excluding like what delivery costs might be, which in a consulting and expert business, those are really low, right? So the next part there is then why in the world are we not spending more money to get more customers? And here's what's the coolest thing. If I'm spending $5,000 to get a client, then guess what? I have $5,000 worth of leads sitting in my CRM that I can sell those leads. I can sell them other stuff. I can sell them other people's stuff. I can ask myself, wow, who are the top 10 power centers of influence in my market that if I pointed all, over a year, you would have spent $60,000. I mean, you'd be up to spending $50,000 a month pretty quickly if you have this mindset. You will be the biggest gorilla in your market super, super quick. You point them to your YouTube channel, you point them to your Instagram channel, you start just building up this viral storm. Your ability to grow will exponentially take off and be on fire because you're thinking more accurately and you're thinking from a mathematical perspective. So, number one, who's your market? Who's the most profitable customer in your world? Number two, what is your product and what is the speed to result that we can give? How do we get them a faster result? I always knew that in dentistry, when I was helping dentists get patients, if I can get them to a live event, their likelihood of joining my mastermind at like $25K a year was exponentially higher. So that was my speed of result there. Number three, I think I'm skipping one. I just lost my train of thought there. But one, I know I'm coming back to like know thyself. Where's your strengths? Okay, where's your strengths and where's your weaknesses? Quadruple down on your strengths. You're making more money because people want to be around the strength of you, not the weak part of you. So get rid of that off your plate as quickly as possible. Number five, get the math dialed in. What's our allowable cost to acquire and what is our average value? If you don't know those yet, you can do simple math on a piece of paper. On another video, I'll tell you exactly how I literally did pencil math in my kitchen after talking to my CFO because my software couldn't give me the data I wanted. I said, you know what? We were testing something new. The new thing was just like looking right. It was in a niche. I identified the most profitable clients, and I was like, we got to go after this. I know it, and the data was there. So I took out a piece of piece of paper, grabbed a pencil, and I wrote down every single customer that came in through that funnel. It was over 100 customers in the last week and a half, and it wasn't even enough data. Everybody, it was not enough data for me to make a decision like I did, but we shut off all of our ads to the one sales funnel, and we moved all of our ads into this new funnel that I had a gut feeling. I had a limited data, but it literally, our business went from doing like 120,000 a month to 1.2 million a month in less than 2 months. That's the kind of breakthroughs that we're talking about. So anyhow, it's Ed O'Keefe. Hey, if you haven't taken my 7-day challenge yet, join me over at Ed O'Keefe Live. It's totally free. You'll get one of my seminars absolutely free, and you'll also get a few special modules of me teaching and coaching just like I am right here. Also, what else? Oh, subscribe. And if you like this and you want to help me out, share it with as many people as you possibly can. And then let me know. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll send you a free gift or we'll do something cool. So that's it. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.